Welcome everyone. It's 3 o'clock on Monday, January 9th, 2023. We are here for a raise hearing for the Board of County Commissioners of Larimer County. And I'll call the meeting to order. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, everyone. We call the things ordered, and I want to thank you all for being here. I'm Larimer County Commissioner Jody McNally. I was in District 3 and also currently the board chair. With me on the dais is my colleague and Chair Pro Tem, Commissioner John Capalas, who resides in District 1, and also with us is Commissioner Kristen Stevens, who resides in District 2. Join us at the opposite side of the room of the dais our staff is Leslie Ellis, our Community Development Director, and Matt Lafferty, I believe, our Senior Planner. And he's helping out with that too. Okay. You guys are all up and flying. I think this entire class is still work sometimes when you get to so, and then we also have in the room, right here we have Thomas Children and other folks. I won't go through all the names, but I'm not sure if you're just going to present, so we'll just do that here. So, let's see. I put behind you. Try to remember because you're behind me on the side on the mind, but that's certainly very important. With us today is also Elizabeth Better from the Clerk and Recorder's Office, who will be recording these procedures. Thank you, Elizabeth, for being here. And also behind me is our County Attorney, Jim Trout. Thank you all for being here today. I'm going to turn it over to Leslie. Just want to make sure that we know we have a consent agenda item, but I'm going to turn it over to Leslie and then I'll read the consent agenda. Thank you, Leslie.
Commissioners, Leslie Ellis, Community Development Director, and I'll do a couple of quick housekeeping items, which is to ask folks if you have cell phones to please mute the volume or turn them off. And we do have copies of the agenda over there if you'd like one. We have assisted hearing devices also if you'd like one of those. And then I'll introduce staff with Matt Howard from Matt Lafferty, who's a principal planner. And then in the audience we have Doug May, who's one of our planners, along with Samantha Lasher and Jim Hastings, and then Connor, and then Shalina Whitesat and Christina Scriptions.
We should also ask me to make sure your mic is on, or maybe all the questions. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you all for staff for being here today. We have with us on us today for the public knowledge. We have a consent agenda. Just for the public's knowledge, consent agenda items are land use proposals for the applicant and the planning development services team in agreement with the details of the proposal and recommendations, and furthermore, consent items are presented when there is no non-opposition and they are approved collectively without a full hearing. A consent item can be pulled from the agenda by one of the commissioners or a member from the public. And so I'm going to read now from that consent agenda. And the third item, I want to read after the first three and make a special note about the fourth one. So on the consent agenda is item number 1, amended plat Lucan subdivision plots A and B, file number 22-AAMD 4288. Second item is Miller amended plat of lots 104 and 105, Crystal Lakes 11th, filing PUD. File number 22-LAMD 4274. The third item is the Sun short-term rental administrative review and appeal. File number 22-DOME 3306. And currently, I have it originally on the discussion agenda that was moved to consent. was amendments to the Larimer County Land Use Code file number 22.CODE0270. And with that, those are the items on the consent agenda. Commissioner Kafashi raised your hand.
Point of clarification, I think she asked Leslie. I believe we need to make a motion to put it on the consent agenda.
Okay, Commissioner Kafashi, I had talked with the county attorney before this, and I thought that was going to cover it, but I will do whatever is suggested.
I think that item number 4 on the agenda that I saw the most recent agenda was on the consent agenda. I think it had last week been on the discussion agenda, but the chair has authority to put it on the consent agenda even if it weren't listed there. If there's an objection, either of the other commissioners can pull it off if they'd like to, and as long as there's no one in the audience or a commissioner that wants to put it off, we can just put it on the consent agenda.
Are you okay with that, Mr. Kafashi? Okay, thank you. Before I say you, I understand we had asked that question before that see what was the cleaner way to do it for this agenda. So those are the 4 items on the consent agenda. I will ask now if either one of my colleagues and commissioners would like to remove any of these items from the consent agenda. Thank you. And now I ask anyone in the public here in the room would like to have any of these items removed from the consent agenda. And now I'll ask Leslie to ask anyone online. Do we have folks online, Leslie?
Checking to see if there are attendees online who would like to ask if any items be removed from the consent agenda. And we do have several participants online, so now is the time to let us know if there's an item to be removed from the consent agenda. Do not see any hands raised. I might call one more time and just make sure that attendees online now's the time to request if there's an item on the agenda that you'd like to speak to. Please raise them.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Matt. So, seeing no objections from those who are currently in the room or those online, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Commissioner Stevens, I would welcome your motion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to approve the items on the consent agenda subject to the conditions in the staff report and further move to authorize the chair to sign the findings and resolutions.
Thank you. Commissioner Stevens, the motion is on the table. Any further discussion, colleagues? Commissioner Stevens.
Yeah, I just wanted to say with regard to the 4th item that was put on the consent agenda, which is some amendments to the land use code, just wanted to stir the public that this is largely cleanup. I'm looking at Listen, she's nodding. So this is just clarifying some intent and adding allowances and use descriptions for quality and ease of use. So just so folks weren't taken aback by the fact that we are making some amendments to the land use code.
Mr. Kafashi.
Yeah, I appreciate Commissioner Stevens making that point. I would just simply add that also in our packet, we received information that it goes back in December, the Planning Commission reviewed these cleanup amendments to the land use code that were mostly oversight for the most part, and they dropped them unanimously on consent.
Thank you, Beth, for helping provide some extra context for the public and add to that motion. And so, with that, and other things, with no further discussion, seeing others in favor of approving the consent agenda. Scott? Aye. Great, with that, that concludes our agenda for today. We have no matters further discussed, and at any time we are adjourned. Thank you all for being here today.